Alright, yeah, Team Triggerful here. I'm Ryan. I'm gonna be showing you my Thing Saver deck profile. Alright, so my starting Vanguard is Advanced Party Seeker File. What his effect is when you Legion, you can put him into your soul and then search Blaster Blade Seeker from your deck. I run him instead of the other ones because we don't have the grade 3 searcher yet for Royal Paladin, and because he combos well with Alfred, my backup grade 3. Alright, so next I run 4 Thing Saver Dragon. Worst name change ever. Well, it wasn't exactly a name change, but Thing Saver sounds ridiculous. Yeah, so the reason he's good is because he's a restanding Vanguard, and his restanding cost is very simple. All you have to do is Counterblast 2, Soul Blast 3, and discard 2 cards from your hand, and then you can Legion from your deck. And he's a potent restander because he gets the extra 2k on attack, so your opponent would have to guard for a little more since they are normally 11k bases. And then my next grade 3 is Alfred. I run 4 of him because he's good to rush with. I usually try to ride him before Thing Saver because he adds a lot of pressure with the crit, and when you ride Thing Saver the next turn, you'll have enough soul to restand twice in a turn, so you'll have 3 Vanguard attacks, and usually that ends games because I don't think any deck can withstand 3 Vanguard attacks. He's good. He combos with, I think it's Crossbow Seeker. So if Crossbow Seeker's on the field, you can Counterblast 1 instead of paying the Counterblast 2 for Alfred to get an extra card on the field, because Alfred's skill is when you have 5 rear guards in the field, he gains an extra critical, and a lot of Legions right now have criticals, or at least the good ones do, so that's why Alfred is my second grade 3. So I run a total of 8 grade 3s. Alright, and then moving on to the grade 2s, I run 3 12k attackers. The reason I don't run 4 is I feel like since Alfred is an important card in the deck, I run the card to Counterblast 1 to search the deck more. I like that card more because it helps add pressure because it fills the field. So the card that's Counterblasted 1 is Great Crossbow Seeker Gildus. He's good because when you Legion, you can Counterblast 1 to get one Seeker from your deck, and that's good because it adds a lot of field presence, which is important for like any Paladin deck. All Paladin decks need field presence, so that's why I run 4 of him and 3 of the 12k attacker. And then the last grade 2 I run is obviously 4 Blaster Blade Seeker. He's good because of the retiring effect, because most decks right now in Legion, they have the important grade 3, that's the one that Legions, and then usually their mate, like they'll have another copy and that'll be on the rear guard, and they're usually really important cards. So Blaster Blade Seeker is Counterblast 1 when you have a Seeker Vanguard, and retire your opponent's grade 2 or greater, so it's good for field control, so you can remove opponents' important rear guards. Alright, on to the grade 1s. Alright, for the grade 1s, I run 4 perfect guards. The reason I run 4 perfect guards and 0 quintet walls is because this deck doesn't have a problem with hand size. So decks that have problems with hand size, like Nova Grapple or Dark Irregular, well, Dark Irregular doesn't have a quintet wall, but the decks that have problems with hand advantage are the decks that usually want to run quintet walls. And since counterblasts and hand size, like, well, counterblasts are a problem, but hand size isn't a problem, you run 4 perfect guards in this deck. The next grade 1 is Lake Maiden Lien. She's good because she helps fill up your drop zone and filters dead cards from your hand. So like if you have a grade 1 but you need the grade 2, you can pitch to grade 1 with this card, rest it, discard, and draw 1. It's good to fill up the drop zone for Legion and filtering cards. And then the next grade 1 I run is the 10k attacker. I run 4 of them because in Legion format it's really important that you rush your opponent sometimes, because they usually try to guard early, or you want them to guard early. so then when your Vanguard attacks, they don't have enough guards, and like you end the game quickly. So 4 10k attackers is efficient for that. And then the last grade 2, or grade 1 I run are 2 Glingle Seekers. Glingle Seeker is good because you when it boosts Blaster Blade Seeker, so like when your Vanguard is in Legion and it boosts and the attack hits, you can put 1 card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, unflip a damage, and draw a card. So it's really good with Alfred in my opinion, because with Great Crossbow Seeker, you can get this behind Alfred and put pressure because it has a crit and possible unflipping damage. And then trigger lineup is pretty standard. I run 8 crit, 4 draw, and 4 heal. You can play with the draw triggers, like the amount, but I run 4 because sometimes you don't get to ride your Alfred first. So you want to fill the soul up to restand multiple times with Thing Saver. So that's why I run 4, because it's just good fodder, goes into the soul easily, no cost. So I run 4 of this because it's more of like a utility, and because draw triggers are probably the best trigger like to damage check it, because you get extra cards into your hand and more options with it. And then there's no stands because this deck, you just want to crit your opponent, like Thing Saver, like when your opponent attacks you or you attack your opponent, you want to be able to end the game with crits. So that's why there's no stands, because also the rear guards aren't very potent in this deck. Alright, yeah, that's it. If you like the video, or if you want to see any other deck lists, like any like uncharacteristic decks like Great Nature, Murakumo, if you want to see those deck lists, you can leave a comment. Just remember to like subscribe and like this video. Alright, until next time, Team Triggerful.